Brooklyn Park firefighter is recovering after a house fire late Wednesday night in the eastern part of the city. Reporter Sonia Goins has more on the fire and why it was a challenge to get it under control.
Brooklyn Park fire investigators are calling the 3-alarm fire an accident. They say a pit fire got out of hand, quickly spreading to the garage and house.
You could hear explosions, minor explosions, pops.
Crews were called to the home near West River Road and 85th Avenue North just before 11 Wednesday night. When they arrived on the scene, they noticed the fire spreading rapidly across the backyard. Neighbors watched in horror.
Oh my, it was big. I haven't seen anything like that since Vietnam. But every once in a while, one of these big spruce trees would catch fire, and the flames were shot up probably 30 feet.
Fire departments from across the metro were called to help douse the flames, and crews were busy putting out hot spots Thursday morning.
The fire was so intense, we had trees catching fire and embers spreading, so we're just very fortunate that we were able to keep it to that house.
Officials say it was a challenge getting the fire under control.
They encountered just a lot of debris and just a lot of fire load in the building and then around the properties.
The house is destroyed, including a few antique automobiles. One firefighter suffered minor injuries and was treated and released from the hospital.
It was heat-related, and it was very hot last night and humid.
Firefighters rotated crews to battle the blaze.
It's so important when you have this heat is to make sure you stay hydrated, you stay rested up, and you try and stay as cool as possible.
While the home is a loss, everyone knows this could have been much worse.
Thankfully, everyone else is safe.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
The mayor of Crystal and a fellow council member each voted against a resolution to recognize Pride Month in the city. Here is some of that discussion.
I can and I do absolutely recognize the contribution of the LGBTQ community in Crystal. I can't, however, encourage the participation in Pride events personally because I believe that the LGBTQ lifestyle is against my beliefs in God's design for human sexuality. I adhere to traditional biblical beliefs.
When it comes to encouraging and participating in the events, that's something I can't do.
We've spent a lot of time this year looking at equity and inclusion in our city. And, it really, with Pride Month and Juneteenth, really felt like we're starting to get some traction towards that goal. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, let's pump the brakes. I guess I'm disappointed.
The city council ended up approving a resolution recognizing Pride Month by a 5-2 vote, with the mayor and council member Parsons voting no. But by a 4-3 vote, the council voted down a clause in the resolution that encourages the community to participate. A new grocery store is planned for the city of Maple Grove, a type of store the city currently does not have. Texas-based Desi Brothers Farmers Market is planning a store for a vacant lot northeast of County Road 30 and Garland Lane. It would be located between the AutoZone and Walgreens stores. Desi Brothers specializes in Indian and Middle Eastern foods and ingredients. The 15,000 square foot store would be part of a larger retail building, which could also include a small mom and pop restaurant or other small business. The Maple Grove Planning Commission recommended approval this week. Meanwhile, a new medical building is planned in Maple Grove north of Highway 610. The Davis Group is proposing a 2-story multi-tenant building. The lead tenant, according to the developer, will be Minnesota Gastroenterology. The medical office project is part of a larger planned development that will eventually include retail and office space. Think summer has been too hot already? It actually hasn't even begun yet. But Neil Persley has a story that might throw some shade on your outlook.
Sun has a very old name, Sol, S-O-L. When we see that AR at the end of solar, AR means of or pertaining to. So solar means of or pertaining to the sun.
It is an event that has occurred every year of your life.
Just like that, solstice means sun still. It's the day the sun stops climbing into the sky and then starts to descend again.
In the winter, that's cause for celebration because the long nights are over and Mr. Sol will be gradually spending more time with us. But our summer solstice marks our longest day of the year.
The tilt of the Earth's axis gives the Earth its seasons. Where you are on the Earth dictates whether that season is going to be summer or winter.
The Earth maintains this 23.5 degree tilt while it spins in rotation around the sun.
Now, the Earth is always pointed in the same direction in space. It's always pointed at the North Star. But as the Earth goes around the sun in its orbit, its position relative to the sun changes. So that puts the sun low in the sky during the wintertime, but very high in the sky during the summertime. And the highest it gets is the solstice.
The summer solstice in our hemisphere happens at 10:32 p.m. Central Daylight Time in Minnesota. Although our weather for the past couple of weeks has had us sweltering in heat, this officially kicks off summer.
In the southern hemisphere, they have the opposite. So as we approach the first day of summer in the north, it's actually the first day of winter in the south.
There are actually 3 phases of twilight called astro twilight, nautical twilight, and civil twilight, all varying degrees of light in the sky before and after actual night. Because of our long days near solstice, summer in Minnesota is a horrible time for stargazing. There's only about 5 hours of actual night in between the astro twilight times.
In summer, the sun gets up to 68.5 degrees, and that is way up here.
To put that into perspective,
From the first day of summer to the first day of winter.
enjoy the rest of your summer. Neil Persley, CCX News.